Hey fellow travellers, today we're exploring one of the most beautiful ports of call on our Greek and Turkish cruise aboard the Celebrity Infinity, and that is Kusadasi in Turkey. Now we're really excited to take you along as we step back in time and discover some seriously amazing historical sites. We've got a really packed day ahead with a private tour of the spiritual house of the Virgin Mary, the ancient city of Ephesus, and the legendary Temple of Artemis, which was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. But that's not all. After our history fix, we're going to hit up the local shops where we'll do some retail therapy in a much less pressured shopping environment compared with Istanbul. And to wrap up this adventure-filled day, we'll take you back on the ship for dinner in the main dining room where we had mixed experiences this evening. So grab your comfy walking shoes and maybe a hat because it is really warm here, and let's explore Kusadasi together. Oh, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you love cruise travel as much as we do. Good morning everybody and welcome to beautiful Kusadasi. What are we doing today, James?
We are going to Ephesus, so I think pretty much everyone's going to be going to Ephesus. It's probably the star attraction of Kusadasi, and then after that maybe go shopping, see what Kusadasi itself is like.
Yeah, so we've booked a private tour, so we're being picked up at the port and driven about 20 minutes I think to Ephesus, and then we're going to see all the sites, and we've got a guide, and then we're going to come back to town and see if we can buy some beautiful branded knockoffs items that we didn't get when we were in Istanbul. So of course we're going to take you along with us, so make sure you've hit the subscribe button and follow us for more videos like today's. But other than that, we will see you once we get off the ship. So we are at supposedly where Mary lived. We've just been in some old church that you can't film in. Tell us about that church.
Small.
What's it supposed to be?
I can't remember what she said.
It's supposedly where Mary lived anyway, but they can't prove that she actually lived here, so it's kind of a site that's emerged on old wives' tales almost. They've excavated, but they haven't found any evidence that Mary actually lived here. Anyway, it's a nice environment to walk around. Spring that you supposedly shouldn't drink from because you're going to get ill. I don't really want to do anything there. But it's a natural spring. And there's lots of bits of messages that people have left here. I guess if you're a Christian and you believe in all of this stuff, it's quite a sort of a pilgrimage kind of place to come to. Otherwise, it's also a nice place to visit as well. You can see here all these rags and messages that people have posted. They're not posting now as well.
He said, if you make peace, I give you. Look not on our sins, but on the...
So just arrived at Ephesus. Because we got a private tour guide, we managed to skip the line, so got in pretty quickly, which is good. This is the baths at the entrance to the city, where 1 million people lived, and you had to go through the baths first of all to make sure you were clean and healthy to be allowed into the city. So that's like a good idea. Apparently 1 million people came to this city. The Romans were pretty clever, and they made terracotta pipes to bring the water down from the hills into the city. And you can see more pipes that have been excavated here. This street is a market street, and all these columns supported a roof. And apparently this was like the Grand Bazaar that we visited in Istanbul. This is wealthy people's houses with some beautiful mosaics, and you can see their houses here.
There are two important ones I'm going to show you. On the keystone of the front arch, you see there's a woman relief, and she is the goddess of fortune. So, at the back,
This is the male toilets. Not much privacy back in those days. And then it all drops down there.
This is the canal for the clean water.
Stick at the top of the stick, there's a sponge like that. And the people, they're using that sponge, you can see that shape, so we're there.
They're small bums, aren't they? This is the ancient library, which is pretty intact. They're saying they've only excavated 15% of this site so far. This is the third largest ancient library. What were the other two? Petra and some...
Alexandria was the largest. There's
another one in Turkey, she said, somewhere. Here's a bit of history about the Celsus library if you want to have a read. This is the theatre that's still used today. Here's a clearer view of the Amphitheatre. Get a sense of how big it is. 250,000?
25,000.
25,000. Wow. So this is one of the seven wonders of the world once upon a time in the ancient world, but it's not anymore, and it's the only remaining column. You can see a mosque and other buildings behind it from different centuries. And it was all destroyed in Romans times apparently. Well, I forgot to video the food, but we are starting with pork spring rolls with barbecue sauce, and Ian's having a rather disappointing cream of chicken soup, which is rather watery. So I would score my Starter a 5 out of 10. We'll see how the rest of the meal goes. So I've got the linguine with prawns, which looks very nice. Mark has got the broiled salmon, double portion, which still looks quite small. James has got the beef kebab or bruschetta, and Ian's got a teeny weeny portion of vegetable Wellington. Blimey, you're definitely going to be going to the buffet tonight. So we've just finished dinner in the main dining room, which was okay. I think our desserts were the best, and I forgot to film them. What did you think, Mark?
I thought the dessert was unusually really good, because most of the others that we've had don't taste of anything. It's like shaving foam, really.
Exactly.
That's the case for all the cruise lines. But this one is very nice.
And now we've come down to the martini bar, and unfortunately I just didn't manage to film the singer who was butchering a bit of George Michael. And we've come down for some drinks. We specifically asked for Ian's gin and tonic to be fizzy, but it's still flat as a pancake. So they don't seem to know the concept of fizzy tonic here. Anyway, and I've got Mai Tai. James is into Frangelico. Mark's got a Prosecco.
The Prosecco rosé.
Yeah, they can make that fizzy. Why can't they make the bloody tonic fizzy?
It's very strange. Lovely though.
So there you go, our day in Kusadasi. Now, it is definitely worth booking a tour so you can see all of those sites. And because we booked a private tour, it was just the 4 of us in a little minibus. It meant that we could get to the really popular destinations before the big buses from the cruise ship arrived, because obviously we could get in the bus and leave straight away. And that meant that we missed a lot of the crowds, because if you thought it looked crowded in the video you've watched today, well, trust me, when the big buses arrived as we were leaving, it was getting even more crowded. And it also meant that we could kind of choose how long we stayed in each destination, and also avoid the typical cruise ship where they'll take you to a rug shop or a leather factory and try to sell you a rug, and we weren't really interested in any of those. Now, tomorrow we arrive in the beautiful place of Santorini. And really good news for us is that there was only one other small cruise ship there, so it wasn't as crowded. And if you've been to Santorini before, you know how crowded it can get, but it wasn't too crowded. And we also had one of the most magical evenings, sitting, eating dinner, watching the sunset. Now, I was looking at YouTube statistics, and it shocked me to see that 94% of you guys who watch our videos are not subscribers. So I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe and hit the bell so that you are alerted when our next video goes live. Other than that, it's James and Rob signing off until next week.